let me start it with the introduction. No need of introduction because already you have seen the SAP environment. I'll start with the subject. Let's deal with the subject first. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Usually in the organization, when you're talking about the organization, um, uh, name any organization which you remember, like it's a big company, big group company.
Like Sony, GE.
Okay, fine. So let's go with the Sony part. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Sony, assume that thinking that this is a group level company. Okay. It's a group level head,
Yeah.
and under this, it has couple of companies like uh, for example, it has televisions. Okay, televisions. It has mobiles and other electronic devices. Okay. So example, these are the three companies, okay, under the belt of Sony, which are producing and which have a separate legal entities. Okay.
Okay.
Now this, for example, this TV and these mobiles and further this, what happens here is the areas where the business is happening, like say it is having business operations in suppose Texas, Houston, Ohio, and here for this it has gained Texas, Houston, and let's bring it some another country also. Like say we'll bring it into Mumbai, okay, and likewise something is there.
Yeah.
These areas where the business is getting operated, okay, this is called as a business units, general terminology. This
Yeah.
is called as company, general terminology, and this is called as company, group company. Okay. Right. So when you're talking about the SAP, we need to first map the non-SAP environment to SAP. So this is non-SAP environment. It is designed in Oracle. Now here in SAP, the terminology we are talking about is this is called as a company. This level is called company code level. This level is called business area levels. Generally, this is understanding,
Yeah.
but term wise, this is the understanding, but it has a definition. Like if any organization units, if it is surviving the purpose of the definition, and if it is behaving as per the definition of SAP, you will bring that particular part into the organization unit. I mean organization structure. Now, when you're talking about this behaviors and all the stuff, first of all, we need to analyze what is the data type in the organization. If you analyze the data type, then the rest of the story is easy. Okay. So all data in the business, it is divided into three layers. One is organization data, one is master data, and one is transactional data. Now, when you're talking about the mapping situation, mapping conditions from non-SAP to SAP, what you're going to map? First, you're going to map what is the organizational structure. Then you bring the master data, okay, after mapping. Then you also bring the existing transactional data, and furthermore, the configuration between the configuration by organization and master data should support the transactional data posting OLTP, online transaction posting purpose. No, it should support
Yeah.
this. So today will definitely the first thing priority is organizational data only. When you configure the organizational data, then you can configure the master data, because master data also with reference to the organizational data. And based on this 1 and 2, you can use transactional data. I mean, you can post the transactional data. So obviously we need to start with the organizational data itself. So when you're talking about the organizational data of the particular company, what all the things we will be covering, what all the things we should cover, like say organizational data of financial accounting, organizational data of controlling, likewise organizational data of SD, MM, PP. Okay, these are all logistics. Okay, so these are the areas. What you are defining in the organizational data, like what are the activity you are defining here? First, financial accounting, for example, we are concerned about these two. Of course, I'll take up everything. These areas also I'll cover up. But talking on the priority side, first we are talking about the financial accounting. In financial accounting, we have two aspects. One aspect is definitions, defining the data. Other aspect is assigning the data. So definition and assignments. What is this definition? What is this assignments? So when you're talking about the financial data, financial accounting, organizational data, we are defining what is a company, what is a company code, what is the credit control area, what are the business areas, what is the financial functional areas, financial management area, segment. These are all definitions as per the financial accounting. Each one is a organizational unit. Okay, each layer, each point is a organizational unit. So we are defining the organizational unit under financial accounting. Once we have defined, we need to establish a link between these organizational units. So assignment is nothing but establishing a link between the organizational units. Like say, this company codes are part of the company. Credit control area is assigned, to company code, and functional areas, business areas, independence. Financial management area, we are assigning it to company code. So this assignment is nothing but linking between the organizational units. So we will be assigning this company to company codes. Okay. Likewise, we will be assigning the financial management area. Likewise, we will be assigning the credit control area. So this assignment parts we will be doing. Okay. This is the enterprise structure. Enterprise structure. Under this, financial accounting, under this, definitions and assignments. Fine. So when we are doing this, we'll go with the standards of definitions. I'll explain the standards of the definitions, and then we'll treat the model, and we'll be configuring this, in the scenarios. Now, before stepping into the organization unit, I'll first show the screen, then I'll come back again to this explanation part, and I'll show up the one example with the presentation, then we'll do the configuration.
Yeah.
So these are the areas which we are covering up. Definitions, financial accounting, and company code, control, credit control area, company code, business area, function areas, financial management area, segments. And in the assignment side also, if you look at the assignment side, this is assignment under financial accounting. Company code to company code to credit control area, company code to financial management area. Okay, these are the areas we will be assigning.
Yeah.
This is with reference to financial accounting only. And we have controlling, logistics, general, sales and distribution, material management, logistics execution, plant management. This is a complete enterprise structure. Okay, this is a complete enterprise structure. So
Yeah.
we'll do this now. So just I'm trying to give you some idea on the organization structure here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick up my glasses. Where it is. Yeah. See, this is talking about some organization structure for a model, and it gives some clear idea on the structure here. Oh, this is an issue. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see that.
What is the screen you are seeing right now?
Chapter 3, organizational structure, the
Oh,
small box.
okay. I think now I'm using a wall mount connected to my laptop, so my wall mount is not displaying it.
Oh, okay.
One second. Output. External desktop. Yeah, now it is. What happened? Totally lost. Sorry for this.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
To extended desktop, monitor built-in display. What is this? Why it is playing today? Built-in display plus monitor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No, I'm not getting complete this one. Anyway, I'll do one thing. I'll Yeah, now I got it. Okay, fine. So organization structure here. Now this model is like how we are getting the data and how the data has been designed. So in this case, okay, we are doing the hierarchy workshop. Like say we are the consultant, and we will be collecting the information in the form of questions, and we frame up the questions, and we try to get the
Right.
answers from the client committee. There are some committees which will be supporting the implementations, and we are
Right.
talking to them, explaining the need of the organization structure and the configurations, and we'll be collecting the informations. Fine. Now this is hierarchy structure. When you're talking about the financials, client, company, and business areas, these are the structures here. Okay. And these company levels are company codes here. If you put up in this way, group level, company codes, and business areas. When you talk about the material management, company code here, plants, storage locations. Likewise,
Right.
the sales and distributions, company code is the hierarchy for them, and the sales organization, distribution channel, division. Altogether, this is called as sales organization, distribution channel, divisions. These are all called as sales area in SAP. Sales area is
Yeah.
a combination of organization, sales organization, distribution channel, and divisions. Fine. Now here, this is a structure. Client at the highest hierarchy level. Then comes the
Sorry, Shekhar. Can you go back to the previous
yeah.
sales and distribution company code? What is 1000, 2000, 3000? That is.
Yeah, yeah. These are all the numerical values which are given for the identification of organizations, sales organization. Here,
Oh, okay.
I'll come back to this actually. I wanted to come back.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
here the combination is like, these IDs are, identifications for the organizational units. In this case, it is understood that for one company code, it is having three sales organizations.
Yeah. Yeah.
One is
I
identified
got
with 1000, 2000, 3000, so on. Under this
got
1000, there is one more sales distribution channel. Under them, we have divisions. Okay. Now here, this is a complete organization structure here with a combination. Like say, with client, and then we have controlling area, chart of accounts, and chart of depreciation, and the credit control area. Then comes the company code, and this is dunning area. In the future, we're going to deal with these areas.
yeah.
Like we have the business areas and these things, purchase groups for the purchasing activities, purchase organization, plant, storage location, shipping point, loading points. Here, sales organization, distribution divisions. Okay, so this is a combination. If you look at this company code, business area, there is no thick line. Okay, thick line is a
Right.
direct relationship
Yes.
or related to something like that. So business area usually is at a client level only. Business area is deal with the client level. So when we are configuring this, I'll explain these points why we are mentioning that it's at a client level, why not at the company code levels.
Got it.
This
Yeah.
is one setting here.
But it looks like one to many relations, correct?
Yeah, 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 true. Okay, this is an extended view of this. When you're talking about the financial module, the structure is client. Next comes the chart of accounts level, the company code, where the credit control area is an assigned again. here, company code to credit control area, running area and business areas. Okay. Now let us take one example here. Okay. This is about the GE, General Electrics, and this is the client here. We are talking about some organization structure of this client. After having a study with the organization structure, we understood that client GE is having the aviation services. They are having the businesses called aviation services, lighting, uh, appliances, and aircraft aircraft engines. So they have these four operations. How the status has been allotted as a company code? The status is allotted as a company code as per the functional definitions and as per the SAP definitions of the organizational units. When we are talking about functional definitions, it means that any company which is registered under Companies Act of that particular country, and which is also having which also prepares the financial statements for the purpose of external reporting, that particular organizational unit is considered to be a company code. Okay, that is a functional definition.
I have a question on that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the legal entity is the company level. Aviation services is one of the division under the client, correct?
No.
No?
No.
Aviation services itself is a separate entity?
It is when the organization unit is treated as a separate entity, then
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay, I
that is
got it.
considered in SAP as a company code.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So the company will register as a general aviation service, general electrical aviation services is a separate company.
Yeah, separate company. The reason how we are analyzing this is
Got it,
when
got it.
aviation services announces its balance sheets to
Got
general
it. Yeah.
public and shareholders, prior to that the statutory boards. When
Yeah,
this is
it's a
done for
legal,
the
yeah.
when it is
Yeah, it's a
done,
legal entity. Yeah, it's a legal entity. It has a separate company code. Yeah.
yeah. So the unit which is having a separate entity is considered as a company code. That's the definition of SAP. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
So here each company code represents an independent legal entity for external reporting purpose. The balance sheets and P&Ls statements recorded by the law are created at the company code level.
Yeah, yeah.
So even we have client level, balance sheets are also prepared at a client level, right?
Yeah, consolidated.
Yeah, consolidated balance sheets. So client level is consolidated, this is an individual balance sheets,
Right.
right? So this is about the company. Now here, this is one
Here
structure.
I have a question. I have a question. Can I ask you one question
Yeah,
here?
please.
Here company code we are defining as a separate entity, aviation services for example, company code. Say for example business area, when it comes to business area like a Texas or in Mumbai or Australia, Sydney, these are the business areas, correct?
True.
In these business areas, when we set up our company, we need to register our company as for the business area representing to the country.
No.
I mean, as for that country, for example, if I want to set up aviation services in Mumbai, Texas, and Sydney, I have to set up 3 different companies in 3 different countries under the different countries Companies Act.
See, point one, business areas. It indicates that the place or the geographical division, place when you're talking about a place, it can be a geographical division, it can be a product, it can be a service. Okay.
Right.
Place where business actually originates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So It has nothing to do with the company registrations. It is having.
So, I mean, at the time of registration, it will be treated as a separate entity in that particular area, correct?
No, why do you want, see, simple logic. Made in China, China product. Made in China, China product. It reaches throughout the globes. Right. So it does not,
No, I know what you mean. Okay, I know what you mean.
yeah,
Okay,
it does not register any, companies under the business areas. It operates the business areas, operations
it
of the
operates.
areas. Mm.
Right, got it.
Okay. So
Because that is my question, because
very
it
good.
operates in a different locations. Based on that operational profit, we have to pay the taxes to that particular
Yes,
country as per
yes,
their laws.
yes, exactly. So here, if you look at this, okay, let me put the business area here.
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you look at this relationship here, client and the company codes are, client is 1, company codes are n, right? So the
yeah,
relationship between client and company code is 1 is to n.
yeah.
And when you're talking about the relationship between the company code and client, what is the relationship between these two?
1 to 1.
Yes, 1 to 1. So always when you're doing this relationship, it is 1 to 1. When you're doing this relationship, it is 1 to n.
Yeah.
Now, the same case, when you're talking about the business area, okay, let's say that we have one business area called Houston.
Yeah.
This particular one business area, all company codes are using, this one business area.
Got it. Okay. Now I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. And this business area, again, it is meant at client level because it has a relationship between business areas and company codes, one business area and number of company codes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a relationship, and it is a separate area which is at a client level, not at a company code level. It is meant for a
Gotcha.
client level because it is under the client. Business
Yeah.
area is under the client. Okay,
Gotcha.
so this is a relationship. So far what we are doing is we are trying to understand a model so that we can get a clear idea on what is the configuration we are doing. Now this
Right.
model here, it has a client and a company code. Another extended view of this model is client, company ID, and company code. Why this is since they have analyzed that aviation services, lightnings, appliances, aircraft engineers. Since there are some multiple options here, the project has designed this way, like
Right.
consumer products, lightning and appliances, aviation products, aircraft engineering, aviation services, just to group and report it easily.
Right. Right.
Business is not going to affect with this grouping. Only the reporting pattern can be made easy at various levels. Okay. So the
Yeah.
project has designed this way, consumer company ID and all. So this way also we can do our consulting. I mean, we can give our area of consulting expertise. The reason purpose of this is, as I said, here company ID is a grouping of company codes, legal entities that can be consolidated using the legal consolidation module. Okay. So
Yeah.
to make it report easy, they are grouped this way. And now this is the relationship between the business areas. One client, company codes, one business area, multiple business area here. One business area is shared between aviation services, aircraft engineers, like this aircraft engineers also getting shared with this new business area, engine sales, with the company code here, okay, transportation systems. So business area can be shared among company codes.
Got it. Yeah.
And this is the chart of accounts. In the later course, we'll come back to chart of accounts, and when we come back to chart of accounts, we'll take up this slide again. We'll move further. So far,
Yeah.
this is the enterprise structure. So shall we configure the same model? It will be easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll take up this aviation services. Okay. Company client
Yeah.
is, we'll take it as G, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll make it aircraft engineers, aircraft services, aviation services. Sorry. We'll deal
Yeah.
with this. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
send the slide. If you want, you can deal the same. You can use the, if of course your service, my service is totally different. So you can use the same company code for the practice. If you want, you can also create another company code like this, and or else you can create your own. Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Experimental wise, you are free to experiment anything, do anything, no problem. If there is
Okay.
something, I'll troubleshoot that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
So I believe you know log in this stuff, right? Shall I
Yeah.
repeat it?
Yeah. Pretty much,
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. I can log in. But the only thing is, I have a question here. The client 800, 600 is defined by the basis, guys, correct?
This is a reverse story, but yeah, technically speaking, they are the person who are giving the, who are
Yeah.
creating the clients, but who are giving the IDs, they are not the person who are giving IDs usually.
Exactly. That is what my question exactly. Got it. You read my mind.
Yeah. So this is actually, say now we have client called 800. Uh, the client name can be UBF also. I mean, we worked earlier. That's the reason I'm just trying to give the IDs for it.
Okay. Okay.
ARL. So some client, usually what they do is they give, the client will be deciding what is the, the best name for them.
Yeah.
Some clients do this, okay?
Yeah.
So they ask us to give the same, identifications. And there are cases where, okay, let's say the client says that, they want to give, okay, let's go with the numerical values only. Let's say like 800 is what the client had asked
Yeah.
to, give. But to whom they will be talking to?
Admin guys
Because
and business.
basis guys will not interact directly for the technical aspects. We functional consultants will
Right.
pick up this requirement, ask them to do this.
Right.
Okay, when we are dealing with the project details and all, so we will be actually proposing the system because we are the
Right.
front
Right.
end. Basis and
Yeah.
above, they are the technical back end support for the front end.
Exactly.
Okay. So with our direction, this basis guys will be, mentioning all these things.
Right. Yeah.
Fine. So now here, this is a easy access.
One more question that
Yeah, no.
login screen. That information, sometimes the information will not display. What we should enable that?
Which information?
Yeah, right here the information. Welcome to the IDAS
Okay, okay.
CCC 6. Sometimes that box will not display. Somewhere we need to enable something, right? So that we can see all the time the version and
It is given in
latest.
the easy access screen. That options is given in the easy access screen.
Ah, okay, got you.
That in ABAP area it is given.
Okay,
Actually, you
got
can
you.
load your own picture also to the screen.
Yeah, that is what. Where is that option available? I was okay. Got it.
That is ABAP area, technical area.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Then it's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Now, this is SAP Easy Access screen, and this is called, the end user screens where they will be using this, screen for
Yes.
day-to-day posting scenarios and reporting scenarios, all this stuff.
Right.
We as a consultant, we are working with the SPRO screen. This is for implementation. Okay, this is the screen.
Yeah.
SPRO also has a abbreviation. This is abbreviated like this. Like SPRO stands for SAP Project Reference Object.
Okay.
So this is a project, and we are referring our areas, and we are working on these objects. Okay, and these are all objects.
Yeah.
Now, as we know, like SAP, first actually they had designed the product which to support the mainframes. Okay, And if you look at the mainframe structure, most of the screens or the inputs, they have the transaction codes, short key identification. That's the reason we, till now, we have the transaction code concept in SAP.
Got it. Okay.
So transaction code is a shortcut where we can directly jump into the navigation screen instead of coming to the navigation path and picking it up. If you know the transaction codes, you can easily use that transaction code and jump into the screen. See here, I had used an option here, additional information, again additional information, display key, document. Okay. Now in this case, let's talk with the enterprise structure, definitions, accounting. Okay. You see this. Here, most of the cases, the last 4 digits are transaction codes for the screen.
Got it. Okay.
Right. We are defining the company. We want to define the company. Now, before doing these definitions, what I'll do is we'll try to see what is the importance of this activity. Okay.
Right.
Is a company really mandatory? Do we really need to configure this company?
Yeah.
According to you, tell me, do you really need to configure the company? Is it a mandatory step or not?
Configuring or defining?
Yeah, that's what, defining the company. Okay.
Yes, it is a mandatory.
Okay. Now, let's understand this, whether it's mandatory or not. Okay. I'll tell the example and I'll come back to this.
Okay. Okay.
Now, for example, this is one Reliance group of companies. Okay.
Yeah.
And under the Reliance group of companies, we have a company called Reliance Petroleum Limited, Reliance Info Systems, okay, something like that. Okay. Now, in this case, this is called company codes. This is called company.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one scenario. The second scenario, there is one company called ABG, which is implementing SAP, which does not have any other company code. It's not a group level. It's a company level. It's a general level. Okay. Now in this case, there is no group or company. In such case, how do we configure this?
Yeah, it's not mandatory. Even the first one is also RGC, Reliance Group of Companies, is not a mandatory.
Not
because we are going, company code is mandatory.
Company code is mandatory. Okay. Company is a non-required activity in SAP actually. Not in SAP also, in the business also. It is not required actually.
For consolidation purpose, we need that.
No, when you are coming to point called as consolidation, it is clearly understood that if this company mentions anywhere in the business that it has a consolidated balance sheet, then again it is clearly understood that there are some units here.
Right.
If it is an independent entity, there is no need of consolidation.
Very true.
Right. So for the consolidation purpose only, we are doing this company here.
Right.
So when we see this activity importance here, I want to see what is the IMG activity. Okay. Oh, no, I'll see this activity importance here.
Okay.
If you look at this, company is non-required activity.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
And company credit control area, it is a mandatory activity because when you're talking about the business, definitely there is an impact of a credit sales or credit coming into picture. It's a mandatory activity in the business. Likewise, company code also mandatory activity. Business area mandatory activity. If you look at this segment, it is again optional activity. Okay. So these are the options here.
Right.
And to the surprise, most of the working consultant also does not know that we have these many options here given by SAP.
Right, very true.
No, I train many resources who are already working different areas for their requirements, When I ask them or when I show them, they said this is the first time I'm looking at. It happens.
Yes. Very true.
And coming to this critical activity, let's see whether this information. What is the activity? Critical activity. It is critical because organizational unit level wise, though these configurations are not required, but the activity wise it is critical.
Yes.
Okay. So likewise, first of all, we need to understand how many options SAP has given. Then we can play around with SAP.
Okay.
Fine, we are coming back here. Now this is a transaction code OX15 for the company. Now let's go with the definitions of the organization unit. What does SAP says here? A company, if you look at the company, with reference to the financial accounting, the definition of a company, it is the smallest organizational unit for which individual financial statements can be drawn up according to the relevant commercial law.
Right.
And other important point here is a company can consist of one or more company codes. All company codes within company must use same transaction chart of accounts in the same fiscal year breakdown. Okay, this will come back little later.
Yeah.
So it says that it is the smallest organization unit for the for which individual financial statements can be drawn up according to the relevant commercial law. And also a company can consist one or more than company codes. So by and large, our rule is satisfied here. When you are talking about the GE, it is having one or more company codes. And here also it is saying that financial statements are prepared for the commercial law.
Right.
So we are taking this GE as a group company.
Yeah.
Now, this is execution button or activity button.
Yeah. Right.
Now we are adding the new entry to the existing board here. So what I'll do is I'll use ID GE12, something like GE12, but we need to remember all these IDs. Okay.
Can you make it like GE15, 2015 or something so that I can understand this is too easy for me. Yeah.
Good.
15.
2015.
Yeah. So that is ours. Yeah.
Yeah. Now here we give the same company name here. And we'll mark it for 2015. Now we need to fill up this street address, PO box.
What is the name of company 2?
Yeah. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sorry. Now here, good point. Name of the company 2, right? This is the alias name or the second name of the company or the extension field. It is this is just a description field, information field.
Yeah.
Yeah. So name of the company 2 means, for example, earlier we used to have this company called Satyam, right?
Yeah,
Now
got
it
it. Okay.
got acquired with Mahindra. Now it is called as Mahindra Satyam. So the name of the company will be Mahindra Satyam here. Earlier name will be Satyam.
Right.
This is a information field. You can use this for the purpose. The purpose
Yeah,
could be anything.
if I want to have another field, I need to put a customization and send it to above people. They will add another field, correct?
Yeah. Usually it satisfies the requirement because this is just a information field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now street address and all.
Yeah,
Let's make some street address.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, whatever you. Yeah.
Yeah. So postal code and all. City. Okay, we'll put it. Fine. Country US. And again, these fields, if you see, this field does not have any icon, but this fields, it has icons.
Yeah.
The field which is having icon, it indicates that there is a hidden menu or to choose, option to choose.
Keywords list. Yeah.
So here we are filling up key language, English, currency, USD. And we are saving this. Now, the high level of, the general level of, understanding is that we are putting up the informations in these fields. The high level understanding is that this is the to-be model which is proposed by the consultant with reference to the as-is model which is designed. What is this to-be, what is this as-is? Any idea on this part?
Yeah, as is the current existing one. To be is how it should be in the future.
Exactly, right. So this is the proposing system, and we are building up the configuration here, and we are saving this. When you are saving this, it is asking for the customization request number. It is prompting us, so we are creating a new request for our case, and we are giving a description for this. What I do is I'll use this aviation services. For this aviation services, okay, let's do like this. First we are, you see, in the training purpose, for the training purpose, what I generally recommend is I will not create for each configurations, I will not create one new request number. Okay, it confuses a lot at the learning stage for the learners. So instead of that, what I do is I use a company code. I'll say that this is finance configuration settings, and all my configurations I'll save this in this request number only. Okay. Instead of creating multiple, I'll save it because it reduces our time. If you want to create one request, again save it, again note it, again all this stuff, it takes time. So what I'm doing is I'm here for the further references also. I use aviation services as a company code, and I'm putting up the same thing here. AE aviation services GE. Okay. So this is my company code. This will be my company code. Okay. And I'm mentioning that this is for finance. This step is actually only for training purpose. Okay. Fine. A new request got generated here, and enter.
Do we need to say copy that request number for any purpose, for any reference purpose in the future?
See, copying, instead of copying, usually what happens, the transport management system, it is it will be, this request will be transported to the new clients. Okay, first what you do when you create this, when you save this request is with respect to this client called 800. But 800, it is a development client. Of course, in the coming days I'll talk about this, clients and architectures again. Now from this development client, assume we are sending it to the production client. We need to send it to the production client. So we release this here, and this is transported to the production client. Copy option is also available, but it has a purpose. That is what I am trying to say. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we are back. Going back here, we are defining this credit control area. We are defining the credit control area, and this credit control area, again, if you look at the definitions of the credit control area, it says organizational unit that represent a area responsible for granting and monitoring credit. When you're talking about the granting and monitoring of credits, to whom will be monitoring and granting the credits? Obviously, the customers of the organizations. So
Right.
this credit organization, it is heading for granting and monitoring the credit limits for the customers. Okay, you can see this is an additional definition here. Credit information can be made available per customer within a credit control area. So we can set up these limits and all. When you're talking about this credit limits, setting up the credit limits is again coming from the two various departments. One, the head control, which controls the credit limits and all. The other one, the requirement based from the SD. Okay,
Yeah.
so execute here. Now select new entries button. I need to give one identification. This is a 4-digit alphanumerical key, or it can be alphabetical or numerical, different depending a key. And here it is a 4 digits. So the another training technique which we can use for understanding it very easy, that we can use one common identification for all the organization units wherever it is possible, and we can remember that easily, because in the future coming days we need to play around with the company IDs, company code IDs, or credit control area IDs likewise. So if you give multiple IDs, different IDs for different organization unit, to shrink all these things and to play around, it will be difficult. All the time you need to remember so many IDs. So it is unnecessary. We are wasting our memory in searching the IDs only. Instead, we can use one common ID. I can give one common ID for the credit control area. The same ID also is given for the company code also. That way I'll be using it, so that it will be easy for us to remember what are those IDs in the future coming settings and all.
Right. Yeah.
So aviation services GE is my ID here, and this will be also continued for my company code also. Okay, and currency maintained here is US dollar. Okay, and this is the update for the sales and distribution module. This information will be updated by them, sales and distribution modules and all. And also we have fiscal year variant. We haven't configured any fiscal year variant so far, and risk category, credit limit, all this stuff. After having the approvals, we'll be defining all this stuff. Okay, for the new customers and all. As per these limits, the new customer, his business will be restricted in terms of credit. Okay, now save it. See, it is again prompting for the customization request. Usually, we create a new request for every configuration. Since it's a training, I don't recommend that. It's unnecessary. We are wasting our time on creating part. Okay. Enter. Fine. Here, there is a description to be given here. Okay. I just given a description here. Save it. Now, this is about the company code. When you're talking about the company code, okay. Now, when you're talking about the company code, here you see for these organizational units, we have definitions to be defined. But here it is meant as edit or copy or a delete or check company code. But there is no define, or there is no create, or there is no maintain. Okay. The reason is, it is clearly understood that this company which is doing the implementation, it is not starting now. It is already existing. Right. So already existing one, there is no need to create it here or define it here. We are bringing that environment from the existing ERP. We are editing it to SAP level.
Right.
Right. That's the reason this edit, copy, delete, check buttons, these are options are given here instead of define or something like that. Okay. What is a company code now? Let's see. A company code, it's the smallest organization unit of financial accounting, for which complete self-contained set of accounts can be drawn up for the purpose of external reporting. Whenever there is an external reporting, it is clearly understood this is a separate unit where the purposes are, recording of transactions are done. Separate accounts are separate books of accounts, maintained for the purpose of external reportings. This includes the recording of all relevant transactions and generating all supporting documents required for financial statements. So the place which has this kind of a environment is called as a company code. Okay. Now, quick example. Now, because usually when we are doing in consulting, we have this kind of a challenges coming in. Now we came to know that, for example, we are part of a project. We understood that there are few organizational units, like one administration and one plant, one purchase organization, okay, one sales organization, okay, one credit control. Now, after having a organizational study, we came to know that this level, it is submitting the balance sheets. It is preparing the balance sheets, financial statements, financial statements, and it is doing the, submitting it to the shareholders, okay. Plant is also preparing balance sheet. Purchase organization also preparing balance sheet. Sales organization also preparing balance sheets on this, levels. Now, this level is also submitting the shareholders, okay, submitting to shareholders. This is submitting to shareholders, okay. Now, your question, how many company codes do you suggest to your client now?
Yeah.
How many company
3.
codes? Yeah.
3.
On what basis?
3.
On what basis you are saying it is 3?
Basically, independently, they are preparing the balance sheet from the admin side, plant side, and sales organization have their own independent balance sheets.
But even purchase organization and credit control also having the balance sheets, right? Independently, they are preparing for their levels.
They are preparing the balance sheets, but they are not submitting shareholders directly.
Yeah. So they are not actually doing the external reporting. These are all prepared, but internal reporting only.
Right.
External reporting is for the shareholders, public, and the statutory boards.
Yeah.
So organization unit for which these complete self-contained accounts are maintained for the for the purpose of external reporting. That places are called as company codes. Okay, so we have 3 company codes here.
Yeah.
So we need to configure this. So OX02 is a transaction code actually. Here we have 2 options. One is copy, delete, check company code, which is already existing here. If we already created it, we have already maintained this, then we will be copying or deleting for the duplicating of the company codes. And this is option called edit company code data. So double click on edit company code data. Okay, just a minute.
Yeah.
Some user is already in the screen.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know how to release that? Any idea?
By admin, going to the admin and there is an option I seen very long time ago, but
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Just I'm
yeah.
trying to.
Yeah, but right now I'm not getting anything. But from admin side, they will drop the client, something like that.
No, actually, we need to wait till he comes out. But the other way is, since it's a training, I can use some other transaction codes.
Yeah, but usually we can drop the user, right? Who is there? The admin will.
We can actually what we can do is we can erase his logs so that we can enter in.
Oh, okay.
But that is not actually the correct
Yeah, that is
method.
not the right. Yeah, that is not a standard best practices, right?
So here this person is in couple of screens. So, but this is not recommended in the real time, but in the training time, yeah, it's okay, fine.
Right.
Now we are coming into screen. Yeah, see.
How did you, again, if you don't mind, can you tell me that? How did you delete all the logs? Going with the,
What you need to
you
do is
didn't change your user ID. You are still in your user ID, correct?
no. I changed the user ID.
Ah, okay,
I
got it.
changed
Then
this
it's fine.
username and then I went
Okay,
there and I removed.
okay, okay. Then it's fine, yeah.
Now here we have entered into this, screen now, and select new entries button. Company code. Company code is Aviation Services G. Aviation Services G. Name. Okay. And CTI. Now these are the basic details. Country US. Currency USD. English. And when you're saving this is just basic information. Now it pops out a detailed information, screen. Detailed information screen. Your title, company, and then okay. Now we have another field also left here.
Yeah.
Search items 1 and 2. You can give some search items also here. This is for search items. For example,
Okay.
what is this second field here is it can be given as the say non-SAP. Let's say this non-SAP is Oracle. In Oracle also there is some ID for the company code. That ID you can give it here. The second ID
Okay.
and the street address and all the stuff. And here this field is mandatory US. You can see a business card in a preview. This is some preview of the business card. Okay. And if there is a requirement that we need to have more fields, now the requirement says that we need to have more fields here for the name. What we can do, we have an option to expand here. Okay, more fields. Okay, you click on this, it expands.
Got
Fine.
it.
So more field option is always there. You can also expand everything here, all other fields. See, these many fields are available here.
Yeah.
And it is prompting for the request. I am saving it the same request. Save. Fine. So this is about the company code. I'll stop it here because I need to connect another session, and I think it is late also for you. It will be something 10:30, right, by now?
Yeah, for me, today I'm in Chicago, so 9:30. That is fine.
Okay. Well, I need to connect one more. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So what I'll do is I'll stop the session here, and we'll continue from business area tomorrow. And I'll send the material for you, the handout where you can actually go through. But my recommendation would be the material is having complete information of enterprise structure, but the wise thing would be like go to the point where we have covered, not beyond to that.
Yeah, sure.
So, for example, here, so this is very good information material. Just go through this, okay? Just go through this.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll shoot an email to you with this material along with that slide, okay? This slide.
Yeah, please. That slide is also very important.
Yeah. I'll send this slide. Okay.
Now, shall I stop the recording now?
Yeah, you can stop the recording. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Shekhar.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shekhar. Same time tomorrow?
Yeah, same time. Yeah. And tomorrow mostly you will be. I mean, there are some two more who are working in Accenture, but they want to upgrade their these things. So they're coming.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shekhar. Yeah, right.
Bye.